Hello, everyone. Welcome to the program again. And with me today is Dr. Akintayo Onobola. Welcome to the show, Doctor.
Thank you for having me, Mr. Tim.
Good, good, good. Now, Dr. Akintayo is a family doctor, he's a family physician. He's been practicing for about 12 years, focused on primary health care and care for elderly people. He has worked with Lagos State government, um, two healthcare centers precisely since the past 5 years, since helping in that sector, and before he left to practice on the private personal ground, and then on the side he has flair for IT and he's a software developer. You're welcome to the show once again, Doctor.
Thank you, sir.
Good, good, good. So, shooting straight into what we have for today, you are a family physician. You also major on healthcare for elderly people. But then I'm sure that you believe so well that before we become elderly, we were once younger. So,
That's
what
true.
food and nutrition do you think, understanding what I focus and major on the human mind, and how you can make the mind, or use the mind to get whatever it is you want, change your status, change your condition, attract whatever it is you want, heal your body using the mind, and many more. So what are the food and nutrition that one can feed on that can help to grow the brain?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Tim, for the question. I'll go straight to the answer. When it comes to what to eat and what not to eat, the general recommendation as to what's healthy diet. And it's on that basis that I will start from. I mean, you should have a diet that is rich in fruits and vegetables. You should have a diet that is low in salt. You should have a diet that is balanced. You have your carbohydrates, you have your protein, you have your fats and oil. Um, in addition to that, for the brain and in particular the intelligence, the cognitive function, you, there are different school of thought as to what really helps in that direction, especially as one grows older. Is believed in some cycle that this cycle that low carbohydrate diet is good for the aging brain, uh, while some differ by saying that a high carbohydrate diet is better, and some have also have come up with saying that a diet that is rich in some kind of oil are also very good. I mean, particularly there's a category of fat, I'll call them fat in general, that we call the medium chain triglyceride. But to simplify that, well, the most is commonly found, I mean, it's quite abundant in something that is in our everyday life, which is coconut oil. So, I mean, with all the findings that are coming up every day, I would just suggest that we get to the general recommendation diet, a lot of fruits and vegetables, low salt diets, lot of, I mean, lot of water, take adequate water, a balanced diet in terms of the protein, carbohydrates, and fat and oil. I think for me, I wouldn't want to stick on any side of high carbohydrate diet or low carbohydrate diet, but rather say just have something moderate. I mean, moderation is key. Your carbohydrate intake should be moderate. You should always have your protein intake too. You should also have your fat and oil, always your meat. That way, at least whatever gain that the literature suggests on both the ends of the spectrum, we stand to benefit from the gains.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Tayo. Now, I know so well that, and I'm sure you know too, that we can instigate sickness by thought alone. And I preach, I believe, I've practiced, and I've seen it happen to people where they have healed the body using the mind alone. So, this next question, and I'm sure you also know, by thought alone, we can alter our body metabolism. Now, what I'm saying is this: now we can alter our body metabolism, and there are cases where people, just by thought alone, they can, you know, bring up certain sicknesses on themselves. They can delay some digestive. I want to find out what is the implication or the consequence of negative emotions and feelings like anger, sadness, and depression on our mental health. I want to go over that again. I know so well that we can heal the body by thought alone, and we can evoke sickness on ourselves by thought alone. So, what's the implication or the consequence or side effect of constant sadness, anger, or depression?
Okay, that question is quite broad. But before I start off, I would like to say that the, like you said, the mind has a role to play, but it doesn't play all the role. There are some diseases called infectious diseases, communicable diseases, which each of them has a particular pathogen with particular gene causing them. Of course, in that domain, there must have been a contact. It's really not so much in the domain of the mind as to the getting the illness. Are we together, sir?
Yeah.
But the mind will definitely has a role to play in how the immunity fights off in the process. So I think in a way to put that all together, the there's a model of healthcare we now practice, which is called the biopsychosocial model, which attempts to be the holistic human anytime you are taking care of him or her. So that is to say that it's not just the biological component alone, the illness proper, but you have to consider the psychological framework of the person and also the social environment of the person, because all of these come to play in the evolution of illness and illness management. And so, back to the question, which is what role do negative emotions play on health? I would say the role is quite is immeasurable in to start with and to say it. And then in establish that certain emotion triggers certain episodes of certain diseases, of course, such as asthma. Strong emotion can trigger attacks of asthma. Uh, Likewise, strong emotion could alter your blood pressure, your pulse rate. It could influence how you will respond to the treatment of some diseases. For example, in the setting of depression, managing things like high blood pressure and diabetics it requires more work because it's just not just about giving the person the usual dose. You have to monitor whether that response is adequate, and then, of course, as the depression response and the severity of the depression too, at the time, we have a role to play on the response to these other drugs that are being used for the other conditions. So the role of emotion cannot be overemphasized in health, and we strongly advise that the way to have the best of physical health is to have good emotional life. WHO has done justice to the definition of health by emphasizing that it's not just about the physical health alone, it's about the total well being of the person, which includes the emotions, and the social environment. So I think that has done justice to the question. But I think also I feel a common channel that emotions get into the physical health is through sleep. Of course, when you stop emotion, there's a tendency to lose sleep. And then once sleep is very central. Once sleep is lost, a lot of the body within that lost the immunity, the immune system also is thrown off balance. A lot of other dynamics. I mean, of course, they are not normal dynamics. Abnormal dynamics begin to happen in the body system. So it's very, very important that we take hold of our emotions and we put them under control in order to be able to enjoy the best of health.
Thank you very much, Dr. Tayo. Now that brings me to the next one, which you made reference to sleep. You were at my office some days ago, and then we got talking while you were doing your general checkup on me, and then we got talking about habits, how certain habits now could multiply and affect one in the future. If you remember, we spoke about my sleep pattern, my sleeping pattern. And I told you that
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
9:30, I'm shutting down. 10, I'm off to bed. Yeah, and I wake up 4, 5, and all that. And you're like, that's a good sleeping, cycle. And by circadian rhythm, I'm a morning person. I'm really active between 4, 5 a.m. all through to 11 a.m., 12 noon. I'm at my best mental state. So then you made reference to elderly people, the elderly people we find today who are nagging, they are easily upset, they abuse at the least impulse and all that. That such people must have had. There was a way you explained it, which really, interesting.